inmate at Washington State Penitentiary. This call will be recorded and monitored. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To accept this call, press 5 now. To decline, thank you.
Being good people.
Hey, Patrick Hoffman, how you doing, sir?
Very good, very good. Now that I got a hold of my good friend in Texas.
Amen, amen. It's good.
Yes. I just touching base with you is all. Agnes is on either. She should be on her way back from Rosenthal right now on the trams back to Brussels. She went to visit her mama's gravesite today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She goes there to do a little shopping and then check on the gravesite to see that it's well cared for and stuff.
Is she an only child, or is she an only child, or does she have brothers and sisters?
No, she's the only child.
Wow.
Only child of one relationship, and that's she had a good upbringing though. When her mom and dad separated, why she had a very good stepfather that came in and watched out for her all the way through, and she's had a good life, even though it was mostly solitary up until when she got her first job. She only went until the 8th grade, and then took on animal care with a veterinary clinic there. Veterinary surgeon in Europe at the time, and she did a good 5 or 6 years after, and she got married during that time to a Greek man.
Yep.
And she's been a good person all the way through, and she's looked out for natives wherever she could, and I bless her for that.
Yeah, all of our experience with her and communicating with her and fellowshipping with her has been positive. So you definitely are a very blessed man to have her on your side.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's been a rough week, 10 days for me here with the passage of the 34th year and stuff, and still no action and stuff. It's weighing pretty heavy on me right now.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's a long time, isn't it? 34 years, my goodness.
Well, and day before yesterday, I believe it was, we were trying to get a hold of my trial attorney to see whether or not he'd received paperwork back that she'd sent him. And in the process, we found that my previous wife, Penny, had passed away in December.
Oh wow!
Of last year.
You didn't even know about it.
Had not heard anything about it, so I called her brother to let him know my condolences and stuff, and that I had sympathies with his heartfelt feelings and stuff. That's even though she did me wrong, we still had a life together and stuff, and there was. I can truthfully say there was more good than bad. So.
Yep. Hey, I got a question. A mother of a prisoner called me in Oklahoma. He's in Oklahoma prison,
yes.
And they said something about Securus, which is a private company that gives like phone calls for prisoners and stuff, that they're going to be putting or forcing the prisoners to wear bracelets, and it's supposed to detect if there's illegal cell phones and also the whereabouts, but they're not going to let the prisoners go. They're still going to be incarcerated. Have you heard of anything about forced bracelets that might even like detect oxygen blood levels to detect COVID? Have you heard of anything like that?
Well, the only thing that I've heard was that there was a bill passed in the Washington State Legislature called Legislative Bill 6164, and it's supposed supposed to be an application form that lets selected ones out early, but you have to fill out the paperwork yourself, and there's parameters involved with the paperwork and things, and you have to qualify in that in order to receive a release. Well, I've tried to get people to acquire that for me and send it in to me 3 or 4 different places now, and haven't got anything. I don't care to go to the law library here because it's such a hassle to go to and from, and even more so with this coronavirus thing, we've got Yahoo guards that want to pick and try to cause problems on the search procedure and stuff, and there is no search procedure right now. They're not putting their hands on any of us. We have to put our thumbs in our waistband and spin around the waistband so that if anything was held there, it falls out, and at our socks and things like that, and the mask, and it's just a rigmarole that's totally unconscionable.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it's
right.
They would be better to be lined up around the perimeter of the penitentiary and leave us be. That would be better for both sides right now.
Yeah.
Instead of the stupidity that we have to go through.
So
I don't even go to yard if I can help it because of that. We have a day room and a little unit yard here for an hour, and during this hot weather and stuff, it's been better for me. After I had heard from Agnes that she had contacted Price and found out that Penny had passed away, I was sitting in my cell later, contemplating that and watching TV, and I've got this growth underneath my right jaw. It's like one of the glands, saliva glands or something, is swelled up and stuff, and I pressed against it momentarily, and I passed completely out.
Wow.
I don't know what occurred. I was sitting on the little stool and stuff, and had about a half a cup of coffee and stuff, and I pressed on that, and everything went black, and I don't know for how long. I woke up, a fan blowing in my face. I was laying sideways on the floor, and my leg was off of the stool, so I had either kicked around or something and come out of it and stuff. This is about the second occurrence now, and it went a little deeper. So I'm not pressing on that spot anymore.
That reminds me of a joke where the guy goes to the doctor and he says, when I do this to my knee, it's excruciating pain. And the doctor says, just don't do that anymore.
Don't do that no more. That's the common sense feature of that. Yeah. I'm not doing that anymore.
My goodness. So, but just to clarify real quickly, so you haven't heard anything about forced bracelets wearing of prisoners. That hasn't even come up in any of your discussions or anything in what you've heard about?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I've seen on the news. I've seen one guy that was falsely accused, and the prosecution and the police officers had destroyed exculpatory evidence and manufactured damaging evidence that wasn't true, and he finally got his release from a life without sentence after 20 years. A black man, Richard Long or Ronnie Long or something like that. And then a blurb after that, there was 6 black prisoners, I guess in Illinois, I'm guessing now, but there were 7 together that had been, no, 6 it was. Ronnie Long made number 6. They were 5. Something something fearful 5 or something like that, and they were released too. This was last week. I don't know of anything. What you've said to me, anything appearing to me or anything like that. So they're keeping a lot of things under wraps. They're trying to cover the news time with all of this coronavirus fearfulness and stuff, and they've got one case out in left field, and that makes the whole county or the whole state susceptible for that one. We've had, in Walla Walla County now, we've had 4 deaths over the last 6.5 months. And 198 or something like that, or I don't know the exact number, but it's so low, it's minuscule. It doesn't even follow in the rest of the United States and the world guidelines. And the things that Ted Ellen has been sending me about this show, that the numbers that they're gathering include other numbers.
Oh yeah.
And they're not being accurate with anything, and they're not comparing it to any other thing that's causing deaths right now. And everybody, for some reason, they've got it in their heads that everybody, no matter what they die from, has to go through cremation right now. That's
wow.
That's supposed to be a choice, and the state is making it mandatory. And I don't see how they can do that. There's
yeah, that's upsetting.
I could understand.
People should have the right to choose.
I could understand it if it were something like bubonic plague or something like that, where there were thousands dying and stuff. But they've taken the numbers and tried to blow them out of proportion and make nationwide numbers like your own backyard. There's people dying in your backyard by the thousands.
Yep.
You know. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it's horrific.
Well, I sincerely believe that if it's like they say, it comes from the pangolin and stuff. That I already had this way back in 2000. There was a guy that asked me to come to the hobby shop inside the units in there then, and I went there, and he had this pangolin skin, and I had received. After that, I got sick like a cold or something, and went for 4 days and got healed from it and stuff, and couldn't understand why I should get a cold at that time of the year, because it was summertime and nobody else was sick. And now, if that's the case, then this is what that is. And if it is true, then I'm probably immune to it. So anyway, I'm not worried about it one way or the other.
Right. Amen. Yeah, I agree with that.
Agnes is a little bit, but she's there where she's seeing numbers all the time, and hearing the ambulance traffic and this and that and stuff. And there's been ones in her own building that have been taken to the hospital and not returned. So
yeah,
you can't know that you can trust them right now. They're trying to raise the medical profession's pay to what they think it should be and stuff as medical professors. And I think it's all a sleight of hand game and a mirror game that they're trying to play with the public right now. And then there's then there's ones that do have insurance and stuff, and the insurance isn't paying out on this, and they're trying to confiscate their worldly possessions and stuff, and it's just turning into a fiasco, and nobody's doing anything about it. Trump wants this to act out this way. He wants pandemic, and he wants chaos, and he wants all of these things, and all of a sudden it's going to stop and go away, and it's because Trump got reelected back as president. And we have a hero on our side. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, this whole thing could not have happened if it hadn't have been for him being in office. I mean, and also the governors that have gone along with this, they deserve like a special place in hell for, making mandatory masks, and you can't visit those in nursing homes, and social distancing and shutting down of businesses. I mean, they don't have the authority nor the right to do some of the things they've done, but they have really caused havoc in our society, and I'm not a big fan of the current establishment at all. So,
all of the things that make people get well from an illness and stuff, the nurturing and the caring and the close bonding of those family members and friends and things coming around them, they're taking away. They don't want people to get well. They want people to die. This is the crazy part right now. I don't understand this. I don't see why this is happening.
Yeah, it's almost like they want to break bonds. They want to isolate and quarantine children from their parents. They want to quarantine the elderly from their children. They want to force isolation on people. It's all satanic. It really is terrible, terrible, terrible.
Yes, and I can't understand why it's such a hard push right now. It just doesn't make sense. And there's some type of dark need that it needs to happen within a certain time frame, and I don't understand that. And the only thing that I can suggest is that we resist. And they're supposedly coming up with a vaccine now. All of a sudden, in less than 6 months' time, they've got a vaccine that could change the world with this over this pandemic, and I think it's a crock.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's a crock, and I'm gonna I've drawn my line in the sand, and I know they listen to every word we say, so I don't want to give them any ammunition, but I simply will not take the vaccine, no matter what, or the test. I'm not even going to take their stupid test because I believe they can infect you with the test.
Yes, well, that's been my thought about it too. That's why I remain as distant as I can from any and all of this, and it's not because I'm afraid of getting sick. I believe that I could get sick from this and get well again. Yeah. Even if I didn't, oh well. This is not something to be fearful and panic-stricken about. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
I've had people shooting at me in the darkness in the middle of the night, and I wouldn't leave my father's side.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you're the type of man who wouldn't leave your father when you're being shot at, you're not the type of man to be intimidated by a virus. That it doesn't even have like a .0001 kill rate or whatever. And even if it did have a bigger, higher kill rate, we're supposed to live our lives in freedom and liberty and not walk in fear. And I trust in the Lord. I don't walk around in fear from a virus.
Well, instead of being fearful, we be thankful for each moment that we're alive.
Amen.
And that's enough.
Amen. Amen.
Well, bless you. Have a good day.
All right. God bless you, Patrick. Please know we care about you and we love you and we look forward to the day you get out. And you're in our prayers.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
Yes. What was that again?
I said,
They put it in.
we love you, we care about you, and you are in our prayers. And we realize that we do not believe the lies that have been written about you. We know that you're innocent and you don't deserve to be in prison after 34 years. My goodness, that's a long time.
Well, God bless you.
God
Thank
bless
you
you.
for believing.
Amen. God bless you, Patrick.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, babe, when you